Hey everyone, Chris from Luftrom72 here with a look at Arma Hobby's brand new 1/72nd scale P-51B/C Mustang. This first boxing is Arma's expert set, and as usual arrives in their end opening carton with really nice design and beautiful artwork on the front. The back of the box features profile illustrations for the 6 included colorways. These include 4 American aircraft and 2 RAF aircraft. In reality, the decal sheet has 7 though. Evelina, a P-51C based out of China, was captured by the Japanese and have had their own markings applied over the American stars and bars. Parts are spread across 2 gray sprues and 1 clear sprue, with the clear being in its own separate bag. Further details are provided in a small photo etched sheet, and there's also a set of pre-cut masks that look like they're probably cut from Aura Mask 810. And then of course the instructions and the decals. Frame B, the larger frame, contains most of the major aircraft components, including the left and right fuselage halves, single-piece upper and lower wings, and 2 tail configurations, based on whether your aircraft is going to have a filleted tail or not. While the plastic is not as hard or as polished as, say, a Hasegawa or Tamiya, the details are nonetheless as crisp as any molded by those companies. And there's no visible surface texture until you really get out into a magnified view, where there's just a hint of it. All in all, the surface feels buttery smooth and the details are super crisp. As we should expect from a brand new kit, there's almost zero evidence of mold misalignment, and only the barest hint of flash on some of the smallest parts, like these extra cockpit rails meant to be used with the Malcolm Hood canopy. Arma Hobby had released no shortage of CAD renderings or photos of the parts leading up to the kit's release. Yet one detail that seemed to escape my attention through all that was this beautiful stressed skin effect on the lower wing. The tail is well designed, with the left and right tailplanes being molded as a single piece. This fits into a small cavity at the top of the fuselage, and then the rudder and tail assembly slide in from behind. The remaining parts on Frame B are largely dedicated to cockpit parts, which, depending on the version of the plane that you're building, could be upwards of 20 to 25 pieces. As with the airframe parts, these all feature crisp molding and no evidence of mold misalignment, which should make assembly and painting a snap. Likewise, the upper surface of the main gear bay is also sharply molded, with fine bolt heads along each of the ribs. The smaller frame A contains most of the exterior aircraft details, including fuel tanks, prop, landing gear, the separate flaps, and some of the radiator assembly. The wheels are well molded, with a shallow diamond pattern tread block. This could be shallow enough that once you remove what little mold seam there is, that you do risk losing some of that detail around the outer edge. The quality of the molding is evident on the wheels, with legible Goodyear lettering on the sidewalls, although in a CAD design error, this is reversed on one wheel. The flaps are provided as separate pieces, and here again feature a subtle stressed skin effect, just like the real aircraft. The instruction manual follows a familiar format, with aircraft history, parts maps, and color callouts for 7 paint manufacturers on the front, 8 pages dedicated to assembly, and 7 to markings and color. Captions throughout are provided in both Polish and English, and with the number of options available in this kit, it can get a little text heavy at points. I actually ended up going through with a Sharpie and just redacting all the Polish, so that made things a little easier to track down as I was going through. The aircraft included in this expert boxing include 1 P-51B, 2 Mustang Mark IIIs in RAF service, and 3 P-51Cs. As noted earlier, a 7th option includes Japanese markings to recreate Evelina, an aircraft captured by the Japanese in 1945. The comprehensive decal sheet printed by Techmod includes not only all the major markings, but a full set of airframe stencils, as well as all the placards and dials we're familiar with in the Mustang cockpit. Just 10 pieces of photo etch in this kit, though what's here is nicely detailed. The 11th piece, if you're counting, is part 7, which is actually a scribing guide for a small panel behind the exhausts. The pre-cut masking sheet includes wheels, cockpit glazing, and a few other details cut from what appears to be Aura Mask 810. The clear frame is where we also see some clever thought in engineering. First, with 2 versions of the Malcolm hood, one closed and a slightly wider one for open, as well as the front glazing being molded integrally with part of the fuselage, which means that you're not going to be having that glue brush anywhere close to that glazing. The remainder of the clear frame is rounded out by open and closed versions of the cage canopy, the distinctive D windows, and parts for the F6C Recon version. So there you have it. Arma Hobby's brand new 1/72nd scale P-51 Mustang. Having just finished a dry fit, I can tell you that the fit and engineering are every bit the equal of the parts quality you've seen in this video, and cements Arma Hobby's reputation as one of the leading manufacturers of aircraft in 1/72nd scale.